I listened to the launch of the strategic plan with the leadership of Badili, and one of the most interesting things, like they have actually continued doing, is the innovative aspect of it. And that's one of the unique attributes that Badili brings into the fold. So my name is Mulle Musau. I work as a national coordinator for the Elections Observation Group. My work with Badili is at two levels. One, Badili Africa is a member of the Election Observation Group as an organization whose value add to the election observation platform is the fact that they bring chama women, young women who are in some of the spaces like the universities into the election work. So we work with them in respect to how to ensure that in all the spaces where elections are being conducted, the citizen in respect of these particular constituencies is represented, and we train them to do that. The second level is that I work with them in terms of facilitating some of the programs as an individual that they are currently doing. One of the most interesting ones being the question of the chama women, where they've been training grassroots chama women who are political mobilizers in the work that they do in the political spaces. They have been one of the constituencies that have been basically disenfranchised in the political spaces because of the fact that while they have a very important role in how politicians are brought about in the country, they do not benefit from that particular process. And therefore the work that I've been involved with them is about how to sensitize them, how to train them, how to ensure that their rights are protected within a particular space, but even how they can be able to define their roles, even to the extent of them participating in the elections themselves. So I find that a very interesting program. But then also the engagement with young people in the universities. About a few weeks back, we were able to, for instance, train University of Nairobi students who are working with Badili to become observers in their own elections, which they were conducting. So part of that is also preparing them, becoming agents or active agents in the spaces they are having. That's what we are doing with them at the moment. You know, one of the reasons why we are in elections is because we participate as what we call citizen election observers. And the idea is elections belong to the people. And if they belong to the people, then it should be the people who are monitoring and tracking and active in ensuring that we have credible elections in the country. So what Badili does, which is very different from the rest of the partners that we work with, is that they bring that constituency that we do not have. We have the religious leaders, for instance, bringing their members. We have organizations like FIDA Kenya, which is working with women, just bringing generally women and others, civil society organizations, which have networks across the country. But they don't go to the particular constituency that Badili is talking about, the ones who are interacting in the political space, and the ones who it is in their interest to pursue that political process even into elections. I think the donors need to appreciate the fact that this is something that needs to be done across the country. In one of the interactions that I had with even the authorities around the ones who register chamas, is that there are over 300,000 chamas across the country. That's a huge constituency. So even just reaching out to the rest, the peripheral spaces, beyond Nairobi, beyond the urban centers, I think that's one of the areas. But now coming into the work itself, so Badili is doing some very good work when it comes to the sensitization, the training. But there's also capacity building, which is required if you were to start supporting those women to become political leaders, to become much more engaging. And it needs to be a consistent engagement. Remember, in our country, campaigns run for 5 years. We end an election and we start another campaign process. So you do not want to have, if you want to enable a woman to be able to participate in those processes, you're not waiting until the last year when the men started running like 4 years ago. So it needs to become a continuous engagement with these women in these spaces right from the go. You start having the sensitization engagements, support them in the work that they do in the communities, so that it brings out, it creates much more visibility to that type of work. By the time campaign periods, proper campaigns are being held, they have already done their groundwork, they have already have capacity enhanced, and then they can be able to effectively engage in the process. I think they've taken very bold steps to be innovative in terms of their approach to the next 5 years. They are stepping up their engagement on the programs that they have been doing, and I think that's a very beautiful thing. We can only hope that they will be able to get the support that they need. I would pitch to any development partner, any of the donors who are supporting programs in this particular field, to find that the program or the strategic plan that Badili is offering as a very interesting one, that they should actually be able to support. And the rest of us who are working also within the space, we should be able to continue co-creating with them, working very closely with them to ensure that they are successful in the objects and the outcomes that they seek.